For most people, the history of economic thinking begins with familiar names like Adam Smith or Karl Marx, or perhaps Aristotle if they remember their lessons well. Yet there is a quieter origin story hidden deep in the medieval world, one that Western education rarely emphasizes. Nearly a millennium ago, long before capitalism or modern banking systems existed, a Muslim scholar issued a warning that still resonates through today's financial crises. He argued that when money becomes detached from moral responsibility, societies decay from within. Looking at the modern world, it is hard not to suspect that he understood our problems long before we did. Welcome to the Financial Historian, where money, power, and history intersect, and where nothing is ever as straightforward as it seems. To grasp the ideas of Al-Ghazali, one of the most influential minds of the Islamic Golden Age, you must picture a world both distant and strangely familiar. Around the year 1100, Europe remained fractured and impoverished, still recovering from centuries of decline. In contrast, the Islamic world stretched from Spain to Persia, home to prosperous cities like Baghdad, Damascus, and Cairo. Trade routes thrived, intellectual life flourished, and wealth reshaped society at a pace few could fully comprehend. It was within this environment of expanding commerce and widening inequality that Abu Hamid al-Ghazali rose to prominence. A philosopher, legal scholar, theologian, and sharp critic of his time, he possessed the rare ability to examine both spiritual purpose and economic systems with equal clarity. Although he reached great academic prestige early in life, what distinguished him was his refusal to accept economic growth at face value. He observed a society becoming wealthier while losing its sense of balance. Markets expanded, but meaning eroded. Prosperity increased outwardly, even as internal decay set in. Al-Ghazali confronted a fundamental question. What happens when a civilization accumulates wealth faster than wisdom? His answer centered on money itself. Unlike later economists who treated money as a neutral tool or mathematical abstraction, Al-Ghazali examined its psychological and moral effects. He argued that money was never meant to be worshipped or hoarded. It existed solely to facilitate exchange and cooperation. Like a mirror, money had no intrinsic value of its own. Its importance lay in what it enabled. From this perspective came one of his core insights. Wealth that does not circulate becomes harmful. Hoarded money, locked away from productive use, suffocates economic life. It creates scarcity not through lack of resources, but through blocked circulation. He also warned that speculation corrodes trust. Profiting from artificial shortages, crises, or deception was not clever strategy, but moral corruption. And once corruption takes hold, it spreads through markets and institutions alike. Yet Al-Ghazali did not oppose trade or prosperity. He believed commerce was natural and necessary. His concern was dishonesty, false weights, hidden defects, and manipulated information. Markets, he argued, rely on trust, and once trust collapses, economic order follows. He extended this critique to rulers as well. Currency debasement, the silent dilution of money's value, was in his view a form of theft. It undermined confidence, punished the vulnerable, and destabilized society. A government that manipulated money for short-term gain weakened its own foundations. Ultimately, Al-Ghazali concluded that societies do not collapse because they run out of wealth, but because they lose trust. Money functions as a belief system, and when belief erodes, stability disappears. His insights feel strikingly modern. The technologies have changed, but the behaviors have not. Hoarding, speculation, inequality, and institutional distrust remain recurring patterns. Al-Ghazali understood that economies are not purely mechanical systems, they are moral ecosystems. And when morality collapses, finance follows. History does not repeat itself, but when its lessons are ignored, its consequences return.